This is a non-traditional roadmap I wish I had when I was starting out as a growth marketer. These 5 tips will lead you from hours of frustration to actually getting your first growth marketing role. And apparently my tips have already helped some of you land their first growth marketing job. So let's go through the secret or not so secret steps in this video. And by the way, I made this roadmap for those of you who don't have time and resources to spend on marketing courses. So this is a self-taught way. Oh, and if you're new to this channel, hello friends, my name is Elena. I'm a digital marketer and a startup advisor. On this channel, I share some of the growth marketing tips and career hacks that I got to experience during the past 7 years working as a digital marketer. As you're watching this video, if you have any questions about any part I'm talking about, make sure you let me know in the comments. Now, the first step is to pick your niche. See, the more targeted your search becomes at the very beginning, the easier it will be for you in the future to get your first interview invites and of course to land a job. Because growth marketing definitely differs a lot across industries and across companies. I would say your choice should be based on the 3 key pillars. First of all, customer. Decide whether you want to work for a B2B or B2C company. The second one is company stage. Perhaps you see yourself in a startup, or maybe you feel like you'd be more happy working for a large public organization, which is of course also fine. And number 3 is the product. So think about whether you want to work for a software business or perhaps a hardware company. Maybe you see yourself in the agency setup, or say you're really into the hospitality industry and you want to work somewhere, say for some restaurants. Step number 2, create a list of your dream companies. As soon as you're clear on the niche you want to niche down, it's the time to select this list of companies where you see yourself in the future. Go through a list of companies in your town, area, or your country. Of course, browse, product hunt, great place to work. Don't forget Glassdoor, of course. Monster works super well for the US. As soon as you've selected this list, go through the open growth marketing positions in those companies. The next step is to select the list of job requirements listed there. And then, well, you can either ask ChatGPT to sum it up, or you can also skim it through yourself. It's great to rely on AI solutions these days, but maybe it would be safer to double check things with your own eyes. And eventually, you'll end up having the right set of skills that you need to master. Step number 3, follow the right people. These days, we're just so fortunate with the world of internet because we have access to the people who are the ultimate best in their own niche, in their own industry. So definitely follow the opinion leaders in your niche on LinkedIn. Listen to all possible podcasts they've run. Trust me, the search is gonna be super fast. You can simply start typing on Spotify, say Grammarly marketing, and you're gonna see a list of podcasts about the Grammarly success. Spend some time on looking up the media publications the marketing leaders in your industry have been featured on. Always take notes whenever you get to hear some nice idea on a podcast, or I don't know, perhaps you were inspired by a certain paragraph on that media publication you've read, and try to accumulate this knowledge. And trust me, it may save you weeks and months of going through paid courses. The majority of stuff that I've learned was simply listening to the right podcast and reading the right case studies. Logically, the next step is to create your portfolio. You can also call it working on your personal brand. However you put it, the idea is, like I said earlier, to document your knowledge. These days, with the world of social media, we can become whoever we want simply by building our own portfolio. Why do you need your portfolio, you might think? Think of it in a way of this is something that you want to attach to your job application in the future to make sure you're going to stand out among millions of other applicants. The format of your portfolio can of course be completely different. You may run a blog on Medium, you may publish on LinkedIn about the latest content marketing tips you've learned, you can even launch your own newsletter, set up an Instagram page and create expert reels. Of course, you can also create a simple YouTube channel or say grow a community on Twitter. By the way, growing a community is a huge skill that growth marketers need to have these days. Apparently, we just need to have so many skills. I don't know how to survive, guys. 5. Start applying for first interviews and jobs. I would say this should not be the last step. And this is something that I often hear whenever I run personalized marketing consultation. Okay, now I'm gonna take this marketing course. It's gonna last, say, for 6 months. And after that, I'm gonna start applying for jobs. This is the wrong approach because going through job interviews, creating your first CV, sending your first application is an actual skill that you also have to master. And the earlier you start your job hunt, the better it will be for you in the long run because you're gonna have plenty of time to make mistakes, to fail during your first job interviews, to learn from those mistakes, iterate, and so on. The traditional way is, of course, to apply for jobs that you see, for example, on LinkedIn or on Monster. The non-traditional way is, first of all, to think of your network. I'm sure each of us has at least one friend who runs his own side gig or a startup, and you can be beneficial with your marketing skills even as a beginner. Another tip, send open job applications. Trust me, a lot of job openings actually appear in the heads of marketing departments way before they get to be published on the website. If you live in a capital in your country, I would target smaller cities because those are less competitive. 5 simple ingredients of a good CV. The other day I was at this networking event with HR professionals and I was chatting with one and she told me one thing. She said, Elena, okay, I get it when it comes to the IT guys, but I cannot forgive it to marketers when they send really ugly CV and the one that does not sell them at all. Yeah, for some reason we're not taught how to do so. So don't spend a lot of hours trying to, be on the visual side, nailing the illustrations on your CV, looking for this icon on Canva. This is all bullshit. There are only 5 key ingredients. Keep it simple. Contact details, career accomplishments, company name, title, and dates, company summary, super important, and the most important, measurable accomplishments for each role. Think numbers here. And you may think that it's impossible to come up with an actual measurable KPI that you've achieved, but trust me, it is always possible. It's all a matter of creativity. Job interviews. I have a series of videos on my channel about growth marketing interviews, and apparently they've helped some of you land their first growth marketing role, so make sure you go through them. As a bonus at the end, I want to recommend some of the blogs, newsletters, and podcasts that you should be following to keep up with the latest growth marketing trends. And the beauty of it is that the list actually does not have to be huge. You don't have to bombard your inbox by subscribing to 100 different newsletters. Quality is definitely more important here than quantity, like in many other aspects of our life. Anyhow, when it comes to the blogs, definitely check out the Reforge blog. CXL blog, Ahrefs, and SEMrush are also incredible, and check out Advanced B2B, a growth marketing agency. Definitely sign up for reallygoodemails.com. Make sure you sign up for the CXL newsletter. Elena's Verna's Growth Loop is an incredible source of information. Currently, she's heading up the growth team at Dropbox. And make sure you also sign up to the newsletter run by the current growth manager of BlaBlaCar. And the next time you're headed out for a walk or your cycling trip, put on your headphones and make sure you are listening to some episodes of Lenny's podcast. He's interviewed, I think, literally every single marketing leader out there, from the companies you definitely know, from the tools that you've been using on a daily basis, and they all share incredible expert tips that is simply impossible to find anywhere else. And this is always, to me, like having a coffee chat with those marketing leaders, but I just don't have to fly anywhere or pay for their working hours. And the SaaS podcast is a great source of inspiration, interviews with startup founders and entrepreneurs. And if you're still deciding on your growth marketing career, if you want to step into the digital marketing world, but you're not sure if it's the right choice for you, check out this video because you're going to find out what kind of things I wish I knew when I was just starting out.